Hey guys, Kathy Iconis here with QBO Chat, and super excited today to have Ruth and Jason with Bookkeep here to talk about their apps that help make all the reporting or the data entry and everything going into QBO with Shopify and Square working right. They'll explain it much better than I just did. Um, so I'm watching a couple people, some people come in, making sure that we got stuff going on. It's weird when you turn on Zoom webinars, it kind of trickle in. So I just want to make sure people are getting a chance to join in before we really get into the meat of this.
Right.
I will say, if you guys have any questions, please use the Q&A panel for that. It's just easier for us to manage on that end. Feel free to chat in here. There's someone just said hi from Tampa. Well, Kathy just said hi from Tampa, and that just confused me because I'm Kathy and I'm not in Tampa. But yeah, I'm having blonde moments right now. And I used to be blonde, I swear. So, but yes, we got chats working, and you guys feel free to chat in there. I will be watching that, but I will direct you if you have any questions to do the Q&A panel. It's just so much easier on our end. So I rattled off and did weird things enough. Okay, so handing it over to Ruth to tell us more about Bookkeep, and Jason will be diving into the product. But Ruth, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Kathy, thanks for having us here. My name is Ruth, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Bookkeep, and Jason is our CTO and co-founder. We got together to do this about a couple of years ago, and it's been going really well. We're excited for these products and be able to help the bookkeepers and accountants of the world automate more transactions and make it easy, make your life easier. So let me just jump into, I have a few slides, not many. And after just some general information, Jason's gonna jump in and do a live demo for y'all. All right? Okay, so that's Jason. A little background on the both of us. Jason was a founder at a point of sale company called Shopkeep, which I'm sure some of you have heard of. And he built that product. He founded the company and raised a lot of money from the VCs. And I was CFO there. That's how we met. And Jason also is a serial entrepreneur. He's had a grocery store called the Green Grape, which is super popular here in Brooklyn. And he also had a wine store called Simply Wine. And he also, before that, he also had a corporate career, sort of like mine, sort of like my path. I was a CFO for many tech startups, and you might notice some of these names: Buffer, RotoQL, Ellevest, and Signpost. And I also had a corporate career before that in Fortune 500 companies like American Express, but I'm never going back there again. So that's us. We've been doing this together like for a couple of years, and but Jason and I have known each other for a long time from Shopkeep. So today we're going to go talk about two of the products that we've built. One is they're called daily summary apps. One integrates with Shopify and brings data into QuickBooks and Xero. And the other one aggregates data from Square into QuickBooks and Xero. So basically, we're the middle aggregator. We summarize the data, and then we turn them into journal entries that could be automatically posted in QuickBooks and Xero. So we just recently added Xero, but it's mostly QuickBooks users right now. So a little bit about, Shopify. Why do we pick Shopify and Square? Shopify is really, especially in the last few months since COVID, it's grown tremendously. And it has 1 million merchants using that platform. And Shopify also has a point of sale system. So more than 100,000 of them actually use the point of sale system. And they can, they can use both e-commerce and point of sale at the same time. And they have a lot of apps. 80% of merchants use third-party apps. Just the volume of transaction that goes through that platform is just tremendous. This was 2018 data, and I couldn't really find more up-to-date data. So I'm guessing that at least 50% more, given 2019 and then what happens in 2020. And it is now the third largest retail platform after Amazon and Etsy.
Wow.
Yeah, and Square also is it's growing so much. We have, there's 3 to 4 million users, and they process payments as well, as you know. And we have a lot of restaurant clients actually that, have switched since COVID, have gotten out of some of the more expensive point of sale systems and have taken up Square. So Square is actually growing really, really quickly. And as you can see, about 24% of the merchants are food and drinks. So those are your, restaurants and cafes, and Square actually now has a specific app, point of sale just for restaurants. And retail is the next big sector with professional services. And then you can see the other sectors there that make up who uses Square. So I'm sure your clients here fall into some of those, and hoping that they are using Square as well.
Now, I have a stupid question, probably.
No, not at all.
Doesn't Square kind of have almost a touchless ability now when you're buying stuff? If you have a merchant that's using it.
Yeah, they have the Apple Pay or near field communication. So when you just tap your phone to it or tap your card to it, then you don't need to swipe or handle anything like that.
Yeah, so that makes it even more.
Yeah. There are restaurants here that they have the shield, and then they have the credit card reader actually outside of the shield. So they don't touch each other. So you just tap your phone or your card to it, and boom, you're done.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So that's become really, really popular. So without apps, we recognize that there are a lot of apps in the marketplace that try to do the same things that we do, but they don't do exactly what we do. And it's because of some of these apps and these pain points that Jason started really thinking about how to build a better app for QuickBooks integration. Okay, so you recognize some of these apps out there, and for the most part, these apps integrate at the transaction level, which means that they bring every single transaction and order from Square or Shopify into QuickBooks, which it's basically just duplicates one to the other. So why do that, right? So why is it bad to integrate at transaction level? Well, some of you probably already have this pain point. So if you think about each transaction is 2+ lines of sort of a journal entry, right? And it could be invoices, sales receipts, or deposits, and it can clutter up QuickBooks really fast. So let's say if you have 50 orders a day, and that's 2 lines for every order at least, and 30 days a month, that's 3,000 lines of entry. Or if you have 500 orders a day, it could get to 30,000 lines that just gets into your QuickBooks, your ledgers. And it really, really slows down reporting. So if you want to pull up a report and you want to change the date range for the report, it's just going to go through all of that stuff. Takes just forever,
Mm-hmm.
And
QuickBooks will say there's no limit on data, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't slow it down when you got a whole bunch of it.
Yeah, and if you want to go from one screen to the next, so let's say if you want to click open, you want to troubleshoot, you want to click open one journal entry. And it's like a needle in a haystack. And once you get out of it, you're like, where am I?
Right.
And it really makes it impossible to reconcile to your payouts. So if you're getting credit card payments from your credit card processor, right? How do you know what you're getting is really what you're supposed to getting for X number of days of sales? So it makes it, when you have all those different transactions, you can't, it's just impossible to add them all up and try to figure out what that is. And also, you can miss out on fees. If you're booking net deposits as revenues, you're going to miss out on the fees that they charge, because the deposits usually are net of the credit card processing fees, right? And now both Shopify and Square have loan programs. So they provide capital for the merchants, and they take out, say Square would take out some loan payments directly from your daily deposits. So, and that makes it even more difficult. It's like, how do I book that? How do I know this is a loan payment, the fees, and the net payments? So it really gave us a lot of pain points when we started looking at those apps. And so this is why you want to use Bookkeep, right? We aggregate data, all the orders for one day, and it makes it into one journal entry per day. So you're just getting one entry per day instead of 500 orders. And that really simplifies and declutters QuickBooks. And so we do one sales entry and one payout entry. So the payout entries will break out the fees for you and reconcile to exactly what this payout is covering for those sales orders, right? So if it's for 2 days of sales, it's going to reconcile that, and then it's going to match in the bank fee. So the amount that comes in the bank is going to match the journal entry that we book for you. And breaks out processing fees. And it would also know how to break out, how to book the gift cards, which is a liability. And it breaks out sales taxes. And then we also have a special feature for Canadian users, which Jason would talk about on the sales tax. And loan payments, and you can connect multiple locations. You can use the location feature in QuickBooks and class feature in QuickBooks. And if you have multiple channels in Shopify, we can also do that and book the sales for each channel that you use your sales channels. And we also have the COGS. We pick up the COGS in Shopify, and then that's automatically another entry that will book your COGS and takes it out from your inventory. And some of our clients will have multiple stores, and you can connect multiple stores if you want to connect to one QuickBooks Online account, right? So that's why you want to use Bookkeep, and those are our main features. There's so much more to tell you, and Jason will do that when he goes into a demo here. So we're in the Shopify App Store. We're also in the Intuit App Store, and soon to be in the Square Marketplace App Store. So I have some screenshots just to let you guys know, screenshots later on in the deck that's going to remind you of what our product looks like. But I'm going to turn it over to Jason now for a live demo for you. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Thanks for that, Ruth. Let me share my screen, and I'm just going to start showing everyone how it works. We have a lot of history. I saw somebody mention Shogo in the message there. I'm very familiar with the guys from Shogo. They've been around for a long time, and they understand accounting like we do. The people who don't understand accounting are all these app developers who build point-of-sale systems in e-commerce, because Intuit goes to them and tells them, give us all the detail. We want all the detail in our systems, which makes it completely impossible for bookkeepers to do accounting. We understand that. So we built summary apps, which is also much more complicated than dumping transactions, because transactions are easier to dump, but much harder to reconcile. So our app, I think Ruth showed you briefly there, you can sign up for our app either on our website at bookkeep.com. You can get it in the QuickBooks App Store. We call it Square Summary or Shopify Summary. You can also get it in the Shopify App Store. And as mentioned before, you know, we're looking for the next app to build. We're going to build connectors to all these different tools. You can see, I'm going to show you. So basically, also as an accountant, you can have multiple clients. So basically, we have an accountant interface like this, where you can add a new client, and then you can connect their QuickBooks and connect Shopify, Square, whatever is going to be connected to that QuickBooks that we offer. And you can get to the clients in here also with a quick flip between clients. We also have, we're just rolling out rolled up billing as well. And we do have a partner program as well. Once you get to at least 3 customers, we start giving discounts for that. So this looks a little complex here because I have a lot of accounts connected. This is actually my wine store in New York City, which is a live store, and it's best for showing demos. I use Square in my store. So I'm going to go through real quick the setup. Basically, the setup is you click these links to make the connection. One thing you should note for Square, Square only allows the owner to make the connection. The bookkeeper login will not work. So we built a way, if you right click, oops, that's not right. If you control click, or right click on the PC, you can email the owner and we'll send them a little message with the link that allows them to connect their Square. Shopify is easy to connect, and QuickBooks is the same connection that you've done for all other apps. Once you make the connection, like a lot of apps, the next step is to map your accounts. So what we map to, since we're doing a summary, and our summaries are obviously perfect journal entries, which means they balance. This will then map to this summary report in Square. Which is your gross sales returns, et cetera, again, and liabilities against all your payments. So the next step then is to map your accounts and all those top line accounts against liability, and then the payment types come down here. And then once you post a few days of data, you actually can also subcategorize the gross sales down to the subcategories within QuickBooks or within Square, if you like. You don't have to do that, but you have the option to do that. In addition, actually for Square, that would be it. And then in addition, we also now allow you to map different sales tax accounts. We currently map in the United States sales tax only to liability accounts. We don't use the sales tax features in QuickBooks. No one's actually asked for it. We don't use it because it's a pain in the butt. And we've not had any requests for it in the US. In Canada, however, we have recently released, we do map directly to the Canadian tax account so that you can use the Canadian tax filing that's built into QuickBooks. We just released that. We worked with several accounting firms in Canada to build that and make sure it's working and tested, and everyone's been very happy with it. We have a lot of high volume Shopify stores and Square stores in Canada that are using that. So you do your mapping of, we do 2 journal entries. Each tab is a journal entry. So the summary tab is your daily sales, which posts on a daily basis. Some of our competitors post sales when the deposit hits. We properly post sales on the day they occur. The deposits are posted on the day they occur, and they link back to the sales day. The deposit is this template here. We balance out to a clearing account, which we create, or you can use a clearing account that you already have, called expected deposits. That should zero out that account. And then the other side of the journal entry goes to the bank account. Fees, if you have Square loan payments, if you, in the US, your client uses loan payments, you'll know how difficult it is to figure out what those payments are or how much they are. We actually capture that so that you can put it against the right account. Other deposits withheld, sometimes Square puts other expenses in there. We keep finding new stuff, even including subscription fees they sometimes take out of the deposits, which can make it a nightmare to match. But the beauty of our system is once you get this up and running and mapped, oh, I already just did my bank, but your bank feed will be a bunch of green match symbols, which is so lovely to see. I actually just cleaned up my accounts yesterday. It was all green on the way down. This is, oh, I'm sorry, that's American Express. In my bank account, basically you're gonna see all green matches. And so to show that journal entry that matched is basically, as you can tell, a simple journal entry. As expected, each line broken out. We also, of course, post directly to the, you know, back to the source system, because you always, you know, if you have questions or wonder, you want to know. Unfortunately, I can't make that a link yet, but we have a way to do that eventually. But I put the link there. It'll take you straight to the report of that deposit in Square so that you can see the exact amounts. Square is now charging, by the way, I just figured this out yesterday. This $1 that has nothing there is for delivery fees. They're charging me delivery fees. I had no idea. And now I figured it out. And that $1 is delivery fees. And oh, look, and I have risk manager fees. But anyway, all of this stuff is coming out under payment processing. And this report maps exactly to this journal entry. We're eventually going to add a PDF report that matches that so that you can just click on it and look at it. So that's the deposit entry, and that's how that maps. And then the sales journal entry, I'm going to show you, and I know I'm going fast. I can't see the, and I'll talk about Shogo as well in a second. So we just also released this really nice log. So my store is complicated because I have a bunch of different connections, but I do use Shopify here, but it's not as, I don't use it as much. So we have this really nice log that is going to allow you to do a lot of things besides more than you can see here. But right now, it is the source report from Square. You can actually click on it and see the data details in here. It's not, this isn't terribly pretty, but the raw data that's underlying the summary we create, this will take you straight to the journal entry in QuickBooks that we posted. We're also going to build a way to do a change company button so that if you're logged into a different company, it won't take you to the wrong journal entry. That happens all the time. So that would be the journal entry that we just posted. And again, you can see from Square, the summary, it'll take you straight. Well, actually Square doesn't let us post directly to the date, but it takes you to the summary report here. And these numbers then match up exactly to this journal entry in here. Yeah, the QuickBooks sales tax in the US is kind of a nightmare. So, so that is Square, and Square is pretty simple. We do the deposits and the summaries. You can break down by sales tax type. And now let me show you how Shopify works. Shopify is a much more complicated beast. We have a similar mapping window for Shopify, and you can see that it's very similar, and it maps to, actually, I'm going to show you a different customer for this one. This is one of our bookkeeping customers. By the way, we are also bookkeepers. As one reason why are we different from Shogo. Shogo is a really good app. They've been around a long time. They have a lot of experience, and they do get the accounting, as you probably noticed when you talk to them. I think our customer service, we're trying to give you a lot more tools. A lot of the complaints I hear about Shogo is if something doesn't post, it takes forever to get feedback from them on why or to get it fixed. I'm trying, you know, if I will fix things for you right away, but we're trying to build into our log a way that you can really see if something didn't post, you'll see an error message and you'll see a reason why and how to fix it. As well as I'm going to build a high priority ticket so that if you're looking at it and you need it fixed right away and it's something that you can't fix yourself, sometimes it's a mapping issue. Of course, you could fix yourself, then you can alert me to try and help you. But you know, we're getting better. We have a lot of different customers using these tools in different ways. So we're finding most of the problems and fixing them. So for Shopify, this is the Shopify postings for this customer. And it looks the same. And their mapping is a little different. So Shopify actually has channels. So when you're looking at this summary, this is what we try and exactly map to, or calculate to. Shopify doesn't give you these calculations. So we actually do our own calculations to match this, which is actually kind of complicated because of sometimes delays in orders being closed, et cetera, as well as PayPal payments don't always close on the same day. So we map to this report. And what I wanted to say though, is we've added a new feature that I don't think anybody else is doing. You actually can create a separate journal entry for each one of these channels if you like. And that comes for clients using POS. They want to have separate journal entries for each POS location so that they can separately map whether it's class or location or department. Actually, we can't do department yet on the journal entry, but we can do class on the journal entry. And you can, of course, map it to separate accounts. So this is the Shopify view. And then here's how it works is you can just clone and create a separate journal entry. So this journal entry is actually defaults to other, which is actually Etsy sales coming in. And then this is mapped, and actually we put Etsy here. We don't use classes for this customer. The payments actually all get merged together, so there's just one payment journal entry that matches. Shopify is pretty simple. It's just chargebacks, fees, and deposits. Their loans actually don't come out of their deposits. And we also do cost of goods sold. So these are based on, this is a summary of the unit cost of the items sold during the day. As long as they're mapped, it will match to these numbers here, cost of goods sold. If you are tracking your unit costs, we will do cost of goods sold. So I'm seeing some of the comments.
Yeah, so, Nancy's sold.
Yeah, so we do that. So you can map separate journal entries. So I don't have her QuickBooks open to show you, but the journal entries all look the same there. And what else did I want to say about Shopify? Those are the main things. The payments all match against a clearing account. We do something neat with the payments that only very, very nerdy people will want to use. We don't really use it all the time, but what you'll note about Shopify is Shopify payments, the deposits never match the day. And that is because Shopify closes the payment batch at midnight in the UK. So your batch is going to be split depending on the time of day in your time zone. We actually separate those into today's and tomorrow's batch. So you put today's batch, tomorrow's batch together when you're reconciling in the liability account or the asset account. You can usually check those off and they'll match. This has been working pretty well. It's just one way to help reconcile. I mean, we're all about making reconciliation easy. We want all green matches in your bank feed. We want you to be able to just check things off because they were posted properly. And the other thing that we really want is if, for instance, you ran the whole month wrong because you mapped something wrong, right now you'll have to just come here and hit repost, 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 and you can repost all those days. We post back to the same journal entry. We do not delete and repost. So it will update the existing journal entry we already posted to because it's just easier, obviously, for reconciliation, audit trail. And otherwise it's a nightmare to have it deleted and then a reposted journal entry. So we can repost. So if for whatever reason you decided that your Shopify COGS was mapped wrong, you could go into apps, go remap it, and then go repost those journal entries from our system. Our system is, we literally just released this week. So we want to give you really good feedback. So like if I hit repost here, you're gonna be able to see it update. There you go, it just updated. You'll see the one means it's the second version. So we actually posted to the same journal entry, we just updated it. And you saw right there that it posted to QuickBooks because that feel of understanding that did it post to QuickBooks or not? Do I have to go check? It's such a pain in the butt as a bookkeeper because we do it ourselves. We want to know it worked, and I want to feel comfortable that when I come to this screen, when I see all posted journal entries, that I know that, okay, everything's posted and everything looks good. And I can show you for that client.
So Jason, it seems like you feed off of any pain point anyone has and you're excited about fixing that.
Oh yeah, because I do my own bookkeeping and I can't stand logging into QuickBooks. That's really what it comes down to is I hate logging into QuickBooks. I hate it. I want to make sure that everything can get posted. All I want to log into QuickBooks to do is to reconcile. And actually, sorry, I've talked so much. We're
Oh,
building a tool to make reconciliation automatic. That's way down the line, but
And
uh,
what's special about Jason is that he talks to bookkeepers every day.
yeah.
He will take the support calls to bookkeepers. So, and he's building features as he hears these pain points and just build solutions.
Yeah, I think we built, I mean, I have a lot of experience building software, also at scale. And I think we've built a foundation for all these postings. I mean, whether it's Square, Shopify, or whoever else we're going to add next. We have a Grubhub integration. Some of these tools, you know, in restaurant, a lot of these delivery apps, unfortunately, do not easily give us access to the data. But we built it in such a way that we standardize the summaries into a format of our own and then post them as journal entries in the same format. So we've built a foundation where we can easily, you know, do the things that need to get done and quickly add features, basically. But here you just see that I reposted that same journal entry. Nothing changed, but it shows you in the audit trail that it posted to the same entry. And I think that's really important that you can see here that we, you know, we can update that existing journal entry. So I think, you know, I can take questions now. I mean, I know that was real fast, but we're trying to make it so that these are the apps we have right now. Some of these some of these are internal to us for our bookkeeping, but really it's Grubhub, Square, and Shopify. We do have a ShopKeep app in minimal format. And our PayPal app will only strip the fees out of your PayPal Express checkout payments that come through Shopify. If you're using PayPal for a bunch of other stuff, it gets complicated. You'd have to just ignore, you'd have to, in one app, ignore Express checkout. In our app, we will do the Express checkout. And we're working to build that out. We want to build a really full-featured PayPal integration. At some point, we'll get to that. But yeah, we want to make it really easy for bookkeepers. You know, our goal is to allow, you know, bookkeepers to be able to have their own practice and handle more and more clients because, you know, you have tools that automate it.
right.
Obviously, there's different parts of bookkeeping, but the revenue posting part for clients who really deal with retail and e-commerce, that can be a pain in the butt. So.
And you guys we talked last week and you guys were so gracious when I said, oh, I'll butt in sometimes because, you know, I understand what like bookkeepers think about. And you didn't even mention that, like, okay, Kathy, you should just shut up because you know far more than I do about any of this and you're really the expert. So I can't really butt in on it, but more highlight the stuff that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main difference between us and Shogo, and there's A2X as well. A2X, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't really studied their product. I have heard good things, but I just found out that they post the sales when the deposit hits, which, and then they post the sales as a date range, which does not work if you're crossing a month close. So if the deposit was on a Monday for sales that happened the previous 3 days, they post it as the first date of the sales. So that could potentially, anyway, have your sales from one month going into another. I find it hard to believe they do it that way, but that doesn't make sense to us. But
Nancy says that you're correct. That's what happens.
The difference between us and any other app in the App Store is we're bookkeepers too. So we have a small group of bookkeeping clients. That helps us pay the bills to build these apps. But we realize that bookkeeping is always going to be, individual bookkeepers doing this, across the world. I don't know that these automated bookkeeping firms are really going to, be the future because there's always a one-on-one connection with the client. And so we, as bookkeepers, we use our tools for ourselves. And that also is one of the reasons when we talk about doing the next app, Ruth and I talked about this last week, we really need beta customers. So if there's an app that someone wants to do, we can't do it unless we have a live customer who's willing to work with us It's much easier for us to do it with live data. We often give you, 6 months free if you're willing to be a beta customer for a new app. We're looking at a couple other e-commerce systems to do next, but it really helps if we have a live customer. Same goes for Zero. We're looking for some Zero customers to try these apps with us as well, and you get several months for free if you help us make sure it's working right. I mean, and again, we know things get posted wrong, so we make it really easy to delete and repost or delete out of QuickBooks, because so often people are afraid to connect because they're worried that it's going to dump transactions into QuickBooks. I understand that fear, and we don't dump any transactions into QuickBooks, and everything we put in QuickBooks you can easily delete and we can clean up.
And one thing I want to add is like what makes us different is like we are bookkeepers, like Jason said, but I am also an accountant, and I've had CFO experience. So I am I'm a stickler about getting the accounting right? So what A2X does crossing the month, that to me just like, no.
You're like, no, not allowed.
That's wrong accounting, right? So so we know accounting, we know bookkeeping, and know software. So that's it makes a terrific combination.
And one of the questions, I actually spend a lot of my time running history. A lot of bookkeepers find us when they're like, shoot, I just got this new client and they haven't done their books for 2 years. We can post a full 2 years of daily post with journal entries that will all match. We do charge for that. Just the same price as if it's a month. But yeah, eventually you can do it yourself one day at a time. Or you just tell me post this date range and I'll do it. Eventually we're going to give you the ability to run date ranges of your own. But yes, we definitely post a lot of history. We do a lot of history. We've got a lot of customers who need to do cleanup work.
Yeah. Well, that's usually when they reach out to a bookkeeper, they realize that they haven't done it.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Years worth of data we've done.
Wow. What's the little secrets link? Sorry.
Yeah, this is my view. So we have our own internal features.
Okay, sorry.
We eventually will offer to bookkeepers. Secrets is essentially passwords that are encrypted so that you can share them across bookkeepers. Yeah, these.
That's essentially our workflow management platform. Yeah. So, we have everything in one place. We have the apps, we have the logins, and we have emails, and we have inbox coming in. It's like a doc hub. So we can get stuff directly into the inbox. So that's just a little bit about, this is our platform. And eventually our longer term vision is to make a more comprehensive platform where, bookkeeper just can come here and do everything they need to do.
So if people get in with you now and start giving you feedback, they can help build it.
We love it. Yeah, we love it. We just like hungry for feedback.
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely like the feedback. Eventually I get overwhelmed, but then I get back on top of it. But as for pricing, we do currently have we have rolled up billing now. So if you have multiple clients and you want one bill that happens at the same time, we do have that feature. Or you can just put their credit card in. We also do bank billing. You can put their bank account in. It just goes right in billing. Well, you put the bank account on file and then you choose if you want credit card or bank. And let's see, good call not to map. Yeah, the Square loan payments are annoying.
I think Nancy's just in love.
Yeah, the inventory is really, it's only cost of goods sold summary. So we don't map items. It just will allow you to decrement your inventory account against your cost of goods sold account for the day for whatever items have a cost associated with them in Shopify. Square does not allow us to get cost data. Square still does not allow us to get cost data. They have a lot of inventory apps connected and they do not share that information, and I do not know why. So we can't do cost of goods sold with Square. Shopify, yes.
Well, and like the journal entries, you don't put any you can't use items in journal entries. So yeah, you're just doing the accounts.
Exactly. We're only doing the accounts. Oh, interesting. So A2X is posting, as Nancy says. Squarespace is, well, Nancy mentioned that maybe Squarespace is one we should look at. Would be if we have a beta customer, just email support at bookkeep.com or Jason at bookkeep.com, and we can work on building that. Let's see, COGS. Okay, so I think I answered most of the questions in there. And anything else that we missed, or any other questions? The pricing is all on our pricing page, and discounts for accountants start at 3. Once you get 3 organizations, essentially 3 QuickBooks accounts connected, or 3 clients, and we can work with you on the discounts, and then you can pass it back to your customer at full price.
Nice. So I never, when in my bookkeeping practice, I never really went the route of retailers and e-commerce and stuff like that. So what's the best way to get clients and manage these things?
As a bookkeeper, or
Yeah,
um, it's a
it
good
takes a lot of
question.
knowledge, right? Like you can't just jump into this.
Oh, well, as far as how we did it, I mean, I have my own store,
Yeah.
so I just am the guinea pig for everything. So I built the Square integration for my store. And then I just added Shopify for my store and started learning that one. Although, no, actually, we had some clients already on Shopify. So we used those. Same with Grubhub. We have a Grubhub client. I mean, it really, again, yeah, I couldn't just build this without live data. And I need an accountant that says, no, that one's wrong. I'll go back, I'll fix it. Or you missed this, fee, which wouldn't be likely because it wouldn't balance. But I mean, we do checks. So we grab the data. If it doesn't balance, then we can't post it. So we already know there's a problem. There might be a fee missing. Sometimes there's rounding issues, and we have to fix that in our code. But so, yeah, we just need beta customers.
To your point about, getting clients, and were you talking about like bookkeeping clients or app clients?
Bookkeeping clients, like how yeah, everyone on here, I think a lot of people on here have experience with Shopify and Square, but there's also probably some people that are brand new to bookkeeping or starting their practices and still trying to figure out what to do on things.
So, yeah, I think these apps have really helped us actually grow our bookkeeping practice and getting new clients, because of how timely data is. The data is in there every single day, updated. Mm-hmm. So, and when you close a month, you can have their P&L and balance sheet to your client within a week, right? Because you don't have to do that reconciliation to the payouts, and all that is done for you, and you basically reconcile your bank account, and and just make sure the financials look right, that the expenses are in, and it's so much simpler, And when clients are happy, they give you referrals, as you know. And we've gotten a lot of referrals because of the way that we have done bookkeeping, right?
Right. And you teed it up at the beginning of like how much Shopify and Square are growing right now.
Yes.
So there's definitely a need.
Yes.
Do you feel like you get a higher fee out of these types of clients because of how complicated all the transactions are?
Well, generally speaking, I feel that e-commerce is much more complicated, right?
Right.
So clients are going to be higher fees. But the beauty of these apps, if you use them, is that it saves you a ton of time.
Yeah. So the automation and profitability on these jobs can go way up just using you.
Exactly. So you make more money,
right?
Per client, or you can be more competitive in your pricing as well,
right?
So you're not feeling like you're getting so much pressure for lowering your price. There's still a margin if you automate a lot of this.
Well, and it's one of those. I'm assuming that it's easier for those business owners to find value in you. Yes. Versus some of the other industries, they are like, oh, well, you're a $10 an hour person,
right?
Or something like that.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I mean, we've moved away from hourly rates a long time. I mean, we never started in the first place. It just, you know, value pricing monthly, and there's a lot of, you know, if you can improve, automate a lot of these, you can, you know, get a higher margin.
Right. That's what I'm always telling people. I always think of as bookkeeping as kind of like a manufacturing
Yeah,
plant, and it's just a matter of you can systemize and put these things, repeatable processes in place,
right,
you get more efficient.
right.
And yeah, if you find an app, especially it seems like I said, Jason has this like passion to make sure he's fixing every pain point out there. That yeah, it's going to
Yeah,
be pretty cool.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you're not going to find another app that has this response time that Jason gives.
yeah, that only lasts for so long until I'm really overwhelmed. But but the good thing is
Well, you're human.
yeah, the good thing is that I ran a software company of 120 people, 60 engineers, and product people, and I saw the problems. As all of you know, you talk to customer care, they don't actually understand accounting, or they don't fully. They might understand the product, but they don't understand what the product's integrated with, and then they have to go
Right.
ask, and then they, you know, that whole delay. That's why I don't want to put customer care people in between, because I can quickly triage and figure out what the problem is. I have to get better at fixing things, which I do. I mean, I do it as fast as I can, but you know, my guys fix it or I fix it. We have two other engineers. Eventually we will have, you know, we'll probably get a customer care person. Hopefully there'll be a bookkeeper before. But my other point with that is that the stuff that I want to know what the main problems are that people are having, and so that I can code around those. Giving you this log is part of it, so that you can basically, you know, a lot of the questions are, did it post or why didn't it post, and being able to repost. I mean, the problems that I hear from Shogo, and Shogo does the math right and the postings right. It's just like, if there is a problem, they're very slow to respond. So I want to make sure that you can figure out the problems yourself, and maybe you know, have a higher level. You know, if you're like, I'm doing my books tonight, I need this fixed tonight. You know, okay, we'll have a different level for that, versus someone who's like, this isn't posting, but I don't really care because I'm not dealing with it till the end of the month. You know, whatever we'll figure out ways to triage. But ideally, you know, the more things that I find, it's generally we fix the code so that the problem doesn't happen again. And you don't often get that when customer care is like, oh, I'm happy I fixed their problem for the customer, but that doesn't mean I fixed it going forward for everybody else, because customer care doesn't always think that way. But I do, because I don't want to have to hire customer care. Anyway, but you know, a year from now, if we have thousands and thousands and thousands of customers, then
Millions.
yeah, it could be a lot more. But I mean, in generally, we built our systems so that they will scale very easily as well. And so I'm not worried about that. But
Now I can
yeah,
say
so we
from
have a lot of experience in this space.
yeah, I can say from a prior auditor's experience, I'm like, you guys got you're freaking smart on everything. Prior auditor's experience, I love the fact that everything's linked and
Yeah.
like, yeah, going back. So, because it's always whatever we did in audits, we're testing stuff to make sure, you know, all of that stuff lines up, and being able to just easily get it, you know, that's going to make things easier for an audit.
Yeah, this is, yeah, for audit and just for, yeah, end of month reconciliation.
Right.
We're going to build we'll build something here so that if there's a day missing, it'll highlight in red and you can post it. Stuff happens. I mean, no matter what, stuff happens. Square is down when we try to pull our reports. Maybe
Yeah.
our service was down when we tried to run your report and it didn't run. But we'll give you the ability, oh, it didn't run for the 29th, it'll be red, click here to run it. You know, all those type of things that I deal with sometimes if it breaks. But generally, I mean, it works, and it works every day, and it posts every day. We also, by the way, I didn't show you that. We send a really nice email to customers that basically is this summary, and has a link to the QuickBooks posting as well as to the report in the source system. And you can set that up for the client to get, or whoever needs to get it right here. You just put your email address down here, and it will go out to you, to whoever. It's basically just the summary of this report. if you want to get it in your email. So if you get it in your email, you know it posted because I send those reports when it posts.
You need a little thing on top saying like, we've done all the hard work for you.
Yeah, well, it has a link.
Right we use it. Thank you.
It links directly to the posting in QuickBooks. So so you can see it. And the other thing is, I mean, I have had accountants want to get errors if there's postings that didn't work. I'm considering sending out email alerts if something didn't post. So we'll see about that. Let's see.
Just don't send those to the clients.
Well, yeah, I know that I have to figure out who gets what, but I'm going to see if I can show you one of these reports.
Someone was asking if you're working on something similar on the expense side.
We have, so for what, book, you mean like bank feed?
I don't know. It was just, are you working on something similar on the expense side for businesses that have a lot of expenses, maybe from multiple locations, et cetera?
Here's by the way, this report that goes out. So this will take you straight to QuickBooks, this link. And down here, this link will take you straight to the report in Shopify that is essentially this view. Right. We are, the only thing we're working on right now is, I mean, we're continuing to test. Oh my God, my inbox is empty. Yeah, we built this inbox tool. Let me see if I can show you my other company.
You can go to Black Flamingo or something.
Yeah, we have an inbox tool that we're working on. We're trying to make it a single inbox. As you know, you have some of these other tools, one that got acquired, basically for capturing documents. Basically what this inbox is multiple things. So whether it's and this is not released to the public yet, we're still testing it ourselves. It's working, but this is a bank feed that comes through Plaid. We have, I'm sure you have too, clients where you can't get their stupid bank account connected to QuickBooks, which drives us crazy. I'm sure it drives you crazy. I can't stand it at all. And I want to build our own because then we can control it, the understanding of what's broken, because QuickBooks says it's.
You got to check out. Last week we had Relay, and that's Joseph, who used to be with HubDoc. He actually, so it's a bank account. They've basically made the bank feed everything you need to know when it comes in, so that like it'll say who a deposit's from, who it's, check it out. It's cool.
We'll have to look at that. But essentially this is, if it's an expense on a Chase bank account, you can post it as an expense or as, just as an expense, or this is an expense. If it came in, invoices, this client emails scans of invoices. I think they may have a scanner actually. This is actually a statement. So like the statement, I would just hit that and it would just file it away. But see, they're using a Brothers scanner for us. So they scan it through email and it comes into our inbox. It instantly gets stored in Google Drive, so it's searchable. And then I can take that invoice, if I can read it, it looks like $110. Actually, that's just the view, but when you click on it, then I can, like Bill.com, essentially. We have a little Bill.com features in here. The screen is not showing it properly. Hold on. This is why, like, little things like this.
You enlarged it.
Because we made you increase the size.
Anyway, I can basically post that as a bill into QuickBooks. The vendor stuff should be on the right side. And we have a bill pay feature that is using checks off the client's bank account. We can cut checks off the client's bank account and mail them. Again, we're not ready to support that for others yet. We would if there were people who are willing to work with us on it and understand, but we use it, our bookkeepers use it, and we fix it for our own bookkeepers. But this is, sort of this data entry platform that we're trying to build. You can currently get American Express, bank feed, and you get an email address here that you can email anything into. And if you connect your Google Drive, then everything in here shows up in Google Drive and is completely searchable. And that link will take you there. So if I Oh, actually, I don't have access to that drive, but if you created it, you would have access to it. And so we're working on ways to just to make it easier to handle, the daily stuff. And by the way, once we post something once, it remembers better than QuickBooks. So this Amazon transaction, ideally it remembers Amazon repair and maintenance. So you could just automatically post that to QuickBooks because
And,
you did it
and you
before
have
that way.
rules, and there, you don't need to build rules.
Yeah.
It's sort of AI.
That break.
Yeah, and QuickBooks tries to guess, and oftentimes it's more annoying than anything else.
Yeah. So ours, it's just if you posted it this way once, then we just remember the way you posted it, and eventually we will give you an option that says next time just automatically post this to QuickBooks and skip the inbox. We've been really busy with our Shopify Square stuff. But yeah, we're looking to build a platform for bookkeepers to manage their practice. We already have the ability to have multiple clients with different QuickBooks accounts connected. And so we're working on all of that.
So Jason, there's a question from Debbie. Is there training on how to integrate this program or how? Yeah. Getting set up, I guess.
You can just email us at support or set up an appointment with us. I don't know if I have a link directly on the website, but we'll always do a 10 or 20 minute setup call if you need to. Ruth and I, we do it. Not too many people need it. It's pretty simple to connect.
Right.
It just seems you
always
sure you get the right accounts connected to things.
Yeah, and you always have the chat bubble at the bottom, which doesn't show when I'm logged in. But there's a chat bubble at the bottom that goes to me. Usually I see it and respond quickly. And we'll build some automation in that too, but you can always chat with us as well.
Yeah, so for setup of the apps, we often get online and just spend 15, 20 minutes and have you get all mapped and everything ready to go. So just feel free to reach out to us and we'll be happy to do that.
Great. And I'm just going through some of the questions. You put up the pricing page. So that is, it was just bookkeep.com/pricing.
Yeah.
And stuff. More of the Q&A has now become, more of I love this stuff. So I'm trying to get through it.
Yeah, I'm answering some of them as
they come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do have a lot of restaurants. We do have a lot of restaurants. We have a lot of restaurants use Square. So
you said that chart was 25%, 24%.
Yeah, a quarter of Square users are restaurants in town.
So we handle the tips into liability accounts. I do allow you to map income accounts to liability accounts because some people still have tips as income, depending on how their system's set up. And in addition, also, we do handle a very complex client who actually books their e-commerce revenue when it ships. So she wanted all the income lines to be able to book to a deferred revenue account. And I actually enabled that for her in those drop downs. And then she books the revenue as on the day it ships, because they actually have 3-week lead times. So far, she's been very happy with how it works without me having to change anything.
Don't you love all the revenue recognition rules out there?
No, but we understand them and we'll code to them.
Yeah,
And that's the thing that you need an app like this in between, because Square's never going to do that. Shopify is pretty amazing, but they're pretty amazing, but they're not, they build you very good reports, but they're not going to be able to post that into QuickBooks and handle that integration. So you do need a middleware for this.
Right. Well, awesome, guys. We're at the top of the hour. I think you've won everyone over. I have the chat and the Q&A, both things. I'm just overwhelmed by it all. But yes, the big thing, we will have this on demand up on QBO chat within a day or so. It's me doing it, so give me a minute on things. But yeah, if you want to see something really funny and amazing, then you should look at, I don't know, you might want to try to register like tonight or tomorrow, and you get this like really funny video from me. But because it's not there yet. But other than that, thank you guys for joining us. This has been awesome.
Thanks for having us. We've enjoyed it.
I mean, you guys are definitely the experts in this area, far more than I could ever imagine being. And yeah, I told Ruth before we went live that y'all's backgrounds intimidated me a little bit, even after hearing it all. But you guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for putting this together.
Oh, my pleasure. Okay, so thanks, guys. See you guys on the next demo.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.